Ben Johnson has an addiction, not to standard substances, but to fourth down attempts. The 2025 Chicago Bears were known for their incredible comebacks all season, but in my opinion, they all covered up signs of a bigger problem. Being from the Dan Campbell tree, who we know is notorious for his fourth downs, Ben Johnson is the same. But in many games, I think Ben Johnson goes for it too often, leading his team to be in more close games or bad positions when they shouldn't be. In the first two rounds of the 2026 playoffs, 45 fourth down attempts were made. The other 13 teams attempted 33 fourth downs, while the Chicago Bears alone attempted 12, over 1/4 of the total. But all year long, the Bears have been average on fourth down attempts. Out of the 15 teams who were over 500, the Bears were 4th in total fourth down attempts, but 14th in conversion rate, just one attempt from being 15th, converting fourth downs at 51%. But it isn't just going for it on fourth down that's the issue, it's the situations as well. Let's have a look. In the first playoff game against the Packers, near the end of the first quarter, the Bears got the ball after a Green Bay touchdown. In just 4 plays, they were already faced with a 4th and 2. They end up going for it and convert a big play into opponent territory. Just 3 plays later, they get another fourth down. This time it's 4th and 6. If you remember, the Bears converted fourth downs at just over 50% this season. Basically a coin toss. If you know math, the odds of getting a coin toss correct twice in a row is 25%. So, statistics aren't on the Bears side on a second, further away, fourth down attempt. It's one thing if it was 4th and 1, which I still wouldn't support going for in the first half after you already converted a fourth down earlier in the same drive, but to go for it on 4th and 6 while you had the option to take a 57-yard field goal instead is ridiculous. So what happened? A turnover. While it did look like some miscommunication was had on the route, and maybe it could have been successful, sometimes you just gotta take your points. On literally the next drive, the Bears didn't learn their lesson, as after just 3 plays they arrive at a 4th and 5, this time deep in their own territory. While I think it's a bad decision, like I posted about mid-game, go follow, you don't have to take my word for it. Listen to what the announcers think.
Wow, they started to come out and now the offense is staying out.
4th and 4. Well,
analytics would say to punt here, and if and Ben Johnson's trumping analytics right now with a 4th and 4 from his own 32.
So of course, Chicago goes for it and don't convert again, now leaving the Packers only 32 yards from the end zone, and they score again to get the largest lead of the game. Chicago gets the ball back and they're charging down the field efficiently. Just kidding. After 4 plays, they were on fourth down again, this time at the Green Bay 37. Definitely field goal range, right? I know you as a loyal subscriber have heard of the term third time's the charm. Well, Chicago haven't, as they decided to go for it on 4th and 4 again and don't convert again. 3 drives in a row. Luckily, Brandon McManus doesn't like winning, so they don't give up points this time. Coming out down big, it looks like they learned their lesson. Chicago finally took the field goal this time. But wait, in the second Bears drive of the third quarter, they charge all the way to the 6-yard line, and on 4th and 1 they go for it again, ending the drive on another interception instead of a field goal. I will say that I actually do support this fourth down attempt. 1 yard and close to scoring a touchdown is one of the most sensible situations to go for it, to be fair. Of course, the last fourth down of the game was a necessary attempt which led to this amazing throw happening, but many people overlook Chicago's poor decision making because they dug themselves out of the hole, made an amazing comeback and won, but their dumb decisions put themselves in the hole in the first place, especially with all of the injuries the Packers had before the game and McManus basically playing for the Bears as well. They should have won easily. All respect to Packers fans. Remember to like and subscribe, as we are trying to reach 1K before St. Patrick's Day. But in the next round, what did the Bears learn from the last game? Nothing. I kid you not, on the first drive of the game, the Bears get all the way down the field, 20 yards from the end zone, and on 4th and 2, instead of a 38-yard field goal, they go for it, throwing an interception. On the next drive, they actually score on 4th and goal at the 3. Honestly, I likely would have kicked it, but a fair and sensible fourth down attempt this time. Just 2 drives later, the Bears get 32 yards from the end zone, and on 4th and 1, instead of a 50-yard field goal, they go for it again, and fail once again, leaving another 3 points on the board. In the fourth quarter, they went for it on 4th down again. This time it definitely made sense as they were down 7 and needed a touchdown, but if they didn't go for it on the 2 opportunities before and got the 6 points from the field goals instead, they wouldn't be in a position where they have to go for it now. They didn't get the touchdown, by the way. So 3 different times in this game versus the Rams, the Bears could have scored a field goal but decided to go for it instead, leaving 9 points behind, 9 points that just maybe would have been useful to avoid overtime. A lot of things in sports, but also in life, are about preventing yourself from being in a bad situation in the first place. For example, eating healthier could prevent you from getting illnesses later on in life. For 2 games in a row, the Bears' greediness has put them behind in games that they should have won. I know a lot of you are like, but these are 4th and 3 or 2 or 1 yards. Why are you ultra conservative? In a playoff game, you really do have to take the points you can get. Especially with how hard they can be to come by at times, you can't get greedy. But if all of that wasn't convincing enough to change your mind about Chicago's 4th downs, let's do my favorite thing and look at the stats. While only having 7 interceptions in 17 regular season games, Caleb had 70% of that total in just 2 playoff games, with 2 interceptions against the Packers and 3 versus the Rams. One alarming stat is that out of his 5 playoff interceptions, over half of them came on 4th down alone. Another alarming stat is that out of the Bears' 5 touchdown scoring drives, 3 of them involved converting a 4th down in that drive. If you remember, Chicago was known for their close games all season, like I said before, but the over-aggressive 4th downs were a thing in the regular season as well. In week 1 against the Vikings, they didn't convert a 4th down in field goal territory and lost by 3. Granted, they did allow 21 points in the 4th quarter. In week 5 versus Washington, they won by 1 point on the last play of the game as they decided not to kick a field goal in the 2nd quarter at the Washington 31. And in week 10 against my Giants, the Bears didn't take the lead until the last 3 minutes of the game, partially due to the Bears going for it on 4th down in field goal distance twice instead of just kicking the ball. So unless the Patriots and Seahawks combined for 8 4th down attempts in the Super Bowl, the Bears will likely have had more 4th down attempts in their 2 playoff games than both conference champions will have had in their 7 games combined. Out of the 10 teams who have converted at least 1 4th down this season, Chicago is the 2nd worst in percentage, yet they have the most total conversions. Remember, while 7 is better than 3, 3 is much better than 0. One thing about frequent 4th downs is that they're not just risky plays, but signs of potential problems on offense, as the team isn't consistently performing well enough to get 10 yards into standard 3 downs. Breaking down every single play would be a ridiculously long video. All in all, I actually loved watching Chicago play, and I wanted them to go farther in the playoffs. But you don't want to take unneeded risks early, forcing yourself to take bigger, needed risks later on in the game. I just don't want Chicago to end up like Detroit as one of those teams who look good early, but now look like they're never going to reach their potential. Granted, Chicago's quarterback situation is much better anyway. This is Gade Films. Like, comment your opinion, subscribe, and stay fantastic. I also added memberships if you want to join that.